It's your friendly math tutor, Miss C here, and today we are talking all things logarithms with respect to properties that are product and quotient. So you might be thinking, oh my goodness, there's more properties. Good news, these are tied to the properties you already know for exponents. So we are starting with the product property. And much like exponents, properties help us get equations when we get to the solving part or expressions into um, into a manageable form that allows us to solve equations or simplify expressions. So, super helpful in that regard. So, good news. So, if we think about what we know from exponents, I'm going to go ahead and write up here. Remember how when we had like x squared times x to the power of 8, we could rewrite this as x to the power of 2 plus 8, and then we could simplify that to x to the 10th. So, since exponential functions and logarithmic functions are inverses of each other, they tend to behave similarly. So we're going to start using the product property of logs, and here's the cool part. When we have two logs with the same base that are added together, we can rewrite them using multiplication. Just like when we have two exponents and bases that are multiplied, we can rewrite them by adding. So the multiplication and addition connection is similar with exponential functions and logarithmic functions. So let's go ahead and look at how this looks. So we have the log of 12 plus the log of 4. Just a quick reminder, and I'm not going to go into this because hopefully you learned this in class. Logs always have a base. That base is written where I've drawn the circles. If a base is not written there, it means that your logarithm is in base 10 because it is the most common base, and math people do not like writing extra numbers. We don't write it there, and we don't say it when we're talking about logs. So this is really a logarithm in base 10, right? But we just read it as log of 12 plus log of 4. All right, here is our property. When we have two logs with the same base and the logs are being added together, we multiply what is being logged. So in this case, we have the log of, we multiply the 12 and the 4 together. And that gives us the log of 48. So pretty similar to what we did with exponents. So just as a quick reference to remind us what logs actually mean. So log base 10 of 48 is saying 10 to what power makes 48. That's what a log is saying. So 10 to what power makes 48. So if I think through this, I know that 10 to the power of 1 is 10. I know that 10 to the power of 2 is 100. I know that 48, right, that's what we're taking the log of, falls somewhere between 10 and 100, which means when I put log of 48 into my calculator, I'm going to get a value out between the numbers 1 and 2. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now, but just mathematically getting our number sense in place, I know that is what this is going to yield. Since we're simplifying, we're not going to give a decimal answer, but that's what is actually happening here. All right, this is an instance where we have a base other than 10, and you can see this is written right here as a subscript, and we read this log base 2 of 5 plus log base 2 of 10. So to be able to use our product property, we have to have the same base, or the same, yes, we have to have the same base, which we do, which is log base 2. So I start by writing that, log base 2. And then we multiply together what is being logged. So in this case, it's 5 and 10. So 5 times 10 is 50. All right, so this is log base 2 of 50 is our simplified expression. Again, just to get the point of what logs are across, I'm going to start a little higher. I know because log base 2 of 50 is a bigger decimal than log of 48. So base 2, I'm going to start with 2 to the 4th is 16. Okay, that's pretty far away from 50. 2 to the 5th is 32. We're getting closer. 2 to the 6th is 64. So I'm looking at what exponent of 2 would give me 50. That's what log base 2 of 50 is asking. So I'm noticing that between 32 and 64, that's where 50 lies. So I know that my answer, if I were to put this into a calculator, is going to give me a decimal between 5 and 6. So this is going to be 5 point something. All right. So because we're simplifying, we're going to leave this in exact form. That's this form. If somebody asks you to evaluate this or give you the answer, you would put the decimal form. All right. Here's another one. This one involves a variable. So same idea. We're checking that we have the same base. This is log base 8. So I'm going to start by writing that. And then I just multiply what's being logged. And I end up with 72a. So this is log base 8 of 72a. So sometimes we want to combine things to manipulate equations somehow. So you might be asked to do this at some point. And finally, we have log base 3 of 92. There's our base. We have log base 7 of 2. The bases are not the same. We cannot use the product property to simplify these. So this is as good as it's going to get. This is the simplified form. Okay. Now, sometimes we want to go backwards. Sometimes we're given a log that has already had the product property applied, and we need to go backwards and expand this. A lot of times when we're solving equations, we want to do this because we want two different terms so that we can get our variable by itself. So in this particular equation, what I'm noticing is base 10 again, right? And obviously if these are combined, it's going to have to be base 10 when we expand this out. And I have 100 times x. So I'm going to rewrite this as log of 100 plus log of x. So I want you to notice what I did here. I have to write a log in both terms. So when we expand this, we're writing two terms if there are two things being multiplied here. Okay. So you could think of this also as being log of 100 times x if that's easier. And then the 100 goes into one term, the x goes into the other. What's cool about this is I know that log of 100, this is base 10 because the base is not written. 10 to what power makes 100? 10 to the power of 2 makes 100. So this becomes a 2 plus log of x. So if this were part of an equation I'm trying to solve, I now only have one log. So I'm in good shape to solve. All right. Our next one, we have log of base 5 of 125m. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to rewrite this as log base 5 of 125 plus log base 5 of m. Great. But I'm also thinking about log base 5 of 125. That sounds like something I might know. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. So if I were to raise 5 to the power of 3, I get 125. That means log base 5 of 125 is 3. Because remember, what this is really asking is 5 to what power makes 125? So 3. And then I have plus log base 5 of m. So these are turning out super nice, super manipulatable. But sometimes we're really just trying to break things apart because we're going to need to do something later. And this is one of those cases. We have two variables trapped within our log. And oftentimes when we're trying to solve, we need them to look different. So our base is 8. So we have log base 8 of x plus log base 8 of y. And this is as simplified as it gets. Just a quick reminder here, we are not multiplying these together. This is not log base 8 of x times log base 8 of y. No, this is wrong. We have to add. Notice I'm adding in every single one. All right. That is simplification from multiplication using the product rule. And now let's look at the quotient rule. The quotient property of logarithms. So good news, similar to what we did with exponents. So if we jump backwards and look at exponents, so you might remember, I don't like that color. Let me grab a different one. So you might remember if we had something like x to the 10th divided by x to the 3rd. The way we simplified the exponents is we said 10 minus 3, and then we could simplify to x minus, or x to the power of 7. Had to have the same base, but then we could subtract the exponents. So logarithms behave similarly in logland. Subtraction of 2 logs means that we divide what is being logged. So similar to what we see with the exponents. So hopefully that will help us remember what to do. So here is the deal. This is rewritten as the log of, and then we put a parenthesis. Whatever is being logged is what gets divided. So we say the log of 400 divided by 4. So just real careful here. I'm not writing the log of 400 divided by the log of 4. Very different. This is the log of 400 divided by 4. So it goes to a single log. Okay. And when we do that, we end up with the log of 100. Now, I'm going to keep saying this so you remember it. There's not a base 10 written. There's no base written, which means it's base 10. So this is log base 10 of 100. 10 to the power of 2 gives us 100. And remember, that's what we're finding. We're trying to figure out when we log what power of 10 gives us 100, and it is 2. So this entire expression simplifies out to the number 2. So that's pretty helpful when we're trying to simplify expressions or solve equations. All right, our next one. Same idea. This comes to a single log. This is base 3. So we read this log base 3 of 54 minus log base 3 of 2. Our answer is log base 3 of a single fraction. That would be 54 divided by 2. So I'm going to simplify this. So this becomes log base 3 of 27. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 3 to the power of 3 is 27. That's what log base 3 is asking. Log base 3 of 27 is asking 3 to what power makes 27? It's 3. So simplified log base 3 of 54 minus log base 3 of 2 gives us a single answer of 3. All right. We now have log base 4 of 192 minus log base 4 of 3. We start by writing the single log with our base. So log base 4 of our single fraction, which is 192 divided by 3. So I believe this simplifies. And if you don't know the quick rule to see if something's divisible by 3, if you add all these digits together, and that is divisible by 3. So for example, 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 12 is divisible by 3. That means 192 is divisible by 3. So I'm going to go ahead and divide that, and that happens to be 64. Okay. So log base 4 of 64. Again, 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. That means 4 to the power of 3 is 64. So this also simplifies to a single number, which is 3. All right. Finally, we have log base 7 of 196 minus log base 5 of 3. Straight away, I'm noticing my bases are not the same. Okay, I'm stopping. This is as simplified as this expression can get. All right, what if we were to go backwards? This is actually one of the properties I think is most useful with logs when you have the quotient property, either the one we just did, because oftentimes you end up with much more simplified expressions, or when you end up with a variable trapped inside of the log, you can't really do anything if they are written as in quotient form. But what you can do is when you, rip them apart, you end up getting your variable in its own term, and then you can do something with it if you're solving equations. So it's super helpful. So you might remember from the last screen, I'm just going to go back, how when we had subtraction, we wrote it as a single fraction. That means if we have a single fraction like we do here, we can go backwards, or have division right here. We can go backwards and write this as 2 terms being subtracted. So how we do this, we start with our log, and I know that I've got 2 terms. We're going to have 2 terms. The 56 is going to be 1 term. The x is going to be 1 term. So I know I'm going to have 2 logs as separate terms, and they're going to be subtracted. So I'm going to write 56 in the first one, and order matters. You have to write what's in the numerator first minus log of x. Okay, Remember, in subtraction, order always matters. 6 minus 4 is 2, but 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So numerator first, minus denominator. Okay, in this one, we have, and that's an equal sign, not an approximately equal sign. We have log base 3 of m divided by 9. So we start by writing log base 3 of, what goes in our numerator comes first, m minus log base 3 of 9. Okay, I actually know, and I'm not going to explain why again. Okay, I am because I'm a math teacher. 3 to the power of 2 is 9. That means that this gets replaced by 2. So we get to be simplified to log base 3 of m minus 2. One last word about this one. You know, it's super tempting to try to simplify some of these things, but 56, log of 56 is a yucky decimal, so we don't simplify those until the very end, or we leave things in exact form. So that's why I'm not simplifying that. I'm only simplifying for whole numbers. Okay, last one. Log base 7 of a minus log base 7 of z. All right, that is it. That is how you simplify the product and quotient properties and expand them to get them into forms that will be helpful for you. The next video that we'll have is what happens when the product and quotient properties are together. How do you simplify those? Super fun. All right, thanks for watching. Till next time, make sure to subscribe and remember, you've got this.